Did you know chocolate is made from fruit? This is my second time making homemade chocolate, and the process blows my mind. I removed the cacao beans from the pod, fermented them, roasted them, and then smashed the beans. Inside of them are these cute little cacao nibs. I just blended the nibs with some sugar until it was nice and powdery. Now to make milk chocolate, I blended milk powder and cacao butter until it was smooth and glossy. Finally, I just froze it until it was set, and that's homemade chocolate. If you Google air-fried salmon, this is the top recipe that shows up. And it shows up because it's been rated by over 5,000 people for how good it is. Okay, here's how to make it. Season the salmon with olive oil, garlic powder, paprika, salt, and pepper, and pop it in the air fryer at 400 for 7 to 9 minutes. For an easy lunch, I'm heating up some frozen rice to serve with the air-fried salmon, along with some diced avocado. The top of the salmon gets nice and crisp, and the inside gets perfectly tender and flaky. I can't believe this meal was ready in 10 minutes. So good. We're making the viral green goddess salad, but with only 6 ingredients. Okay, we're gonna start with the usual main vegetables, some cabbage that's finely chopped, Persian cucumbers, and green onions. Oh, and definitely grab a ginormous bowl for all that goodness. To make the dressing faster, try blending Cedars Foods topped organic pesto hummus with some lemon juice for extra tang and basil or spinach until it's creamy and bright green. Pause for a taste test, and you should already feel like a green goddess. Toss it all together until it feels good, and you have to eat these with tortilla chips. So good. The truth is, I don't pack lunch for my husband often, even though I make recipes literally every day. But when I do, I go all out and pack him a snack he can munch on later on in the day. This week, I made chicken and rice for lunch, and for a snack, I packed him some air-fried chickpeas, along with some cucumbers, crackers, and in this cute little pink Tupperware, some lebne and a couple olives. I think he's gonna be a happy camper. Last time I shared this one-pan oatmeal, I got 2 big questions. First, how can you add protein to this breakfast? Well, there's lots of ways to add protein here, and 2 of my favorites are Greek yogurt and peanut butter. Just mix them all in, and they go so well with this mixture. Second, can you use other fruits, and do they have to be frozen? Yes, you can use any fruit you'd like, fresh or frozen. If you haven't tried this one-pan oatmeal yet, definitely give it a try this weekend. I think you're gonna love it. So good. There was a girl on TikTok who was just taking lettuce and just cutting it like this with her bare hands. She just kept cutting and cutting, and she was calling this chips. She's like, we don't eat potato chips. You can just eat lettuce chips. Now, it didn't look like chips to me, and I don't think it can replace chips, but she made me crave a salad so bad. She added some lemon juice. She also added red wine vinegar and some pink flaky salt. They're so good. Last time I made chocolate from a cacao fruit, a lot of people asked if it's possible to add anything to the chocolate mix. So that's what I'm doing here. I started out by fermenting the seeds for a week, then roasting them until they smelled like brownies. The roasted beans can then be cracked and peeled to remove the cacao nibs inside, which is what we use to make chocolate. I blended it with powdered sugar, then added cacao butter and peppermint oil until it looked like melted chocolate. And then it was time for the toppings. I used crushed peppermint because I love mint and chocolate together. Plus, I had so much leftover peppermint from the holidays. When the chocolate was set, I had to see if it passed the snap test. So good. Have you guys tried the viral milk toast? It's basically French toast with no eggs or sugar, but somehow my kids absolutely loved it. Soak some bread with milk and butter, add cinnamon, and cook on medium heat until it's golden brown on both sides. It starts out soft, but then it firms up. You can serve this with any fruit and some maple syrup. Would you try it? I've been seeing Hailey Bieber's pizza toast all over, so I had to try it. You're gonna start out by marinating the tomatoes with some olive oil, vinegar, and salt. Now add 2 pieces of sourdough on a cast iron skillet, along with some butter and a drizzle of olive oil. And you wanna cook evenly on both sides for about 2 to 3 minutes. And now add some fresh burrata and those marinated tomatoes. And then we bake until the cheese melts. Add some warm marinara on top. Top it off with some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And finish it off with some oregano and crushed red pepper. So good. This is one of my favorite healthy snacks. Start out by rinsing those chickpeas. Then you want to pat them dry. Then transfer to a bowl and season them with olive oil, garlic powder, cumin, salt, and pepper. And just give everything a good toss. And now we air fry for 10 to 15 minutes. So good. The most important thing I add to chicken when marinating it is yogurt. Then I add garlic, any spices, and a touch of lemon juice and rub everything together until it's well coated. I grill this, bake it, or air fry it at 375 for like 12 to 15 minutes. With this method, you actually don't even need any oil. The chicken comes out so juicy and so good. Did you know there's no need to butter every single layer of phyllo sheets when making baklava? All you need to do is layer a bunch of phyllo in a large baking sheet. Then pulse together walnuts and sugar in a food processor and layer that on top of the phyllo dough. Then finally add 1 more layer of phyllo on top. Now cut into diamond shapes and pour melted butter or ghee on top. All that butter is going to seep through and bake perfectly. Hit it with cold simple syrup right when it comes out of the oven. And this method will literally take you 10 minutes instead of 1 hour. So good. So good. There is no need to use a knife to make this cucumber salad. I use my vegetable peeler to make thin slices of cucumber. For the dressing, I'm mixing sour cream, red wine vinegar, a little sugar, garlic powder, and dill. Whisk it all together until well combined, and then add in those cucumbers. I'm also using my vegetable peeler to make thin slices of red onions. Now season it with some salt and pepper, and it's time to dig into this creamy cucumber salad. So good. Kim Kardashian is definitely having a moment with chia pudding, but I've been making chia pudding for 10 years. So here are my 3 tips for making it. First, make sure the chia seeds are not expired because otherwise they won't expand. I use 2 tablespoons chia seeds, half a cup of any milk, and a teaspoon of honey. My second tip is to make sure to stir properly. You'll have to stir and wait a couple times until everything floats like this. My third tip is to make a big batch because it's more efficient with all the stirring and waiting. Now set it in the fridge for at least a couple hours, add any toppings you want, and dig in. So good. I found the best new way to make chicken shawarma, and it's seriously so good. I doubled my usual recipe and I combined it with olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and lots of spices. This is where I needed a bigger bowl for mixing the chicken, and then I let this marinate for a few hours in the fridge. Here's the new part. Instead of baking flat in the oven, I packed it into a loaf pan and baked it at 400 for 45 minutes. When you flip it over, it comes out as one uniform piece, and then you can make thin slices just like it's sliced off a pit. This seriously makes the best shawarma sandwiches.
So good.
Whenever I buy ground beef from the butchers, I freeze them flat in 1 pound bags because they thaw so much faster this way. And it makes it easy for me to partition them to make meatballs. I like to add extra moisture and flavor to these meatballs by using sliced bread, milk, eggs, red onions, and lots of spices. I mix each portion, flatten it out, and then it's time for my favorite part. Atheno's crumbled feta right inside the meatballs. They're easy to tuck and roll to form small meatballs. I remove them to bake for 15 to 20 minutes, and that's a good time to make the tzatziki sauce to serve with them. These meatballs come out so juicy and tender, and the feta cheese inside adds creaminess to the meatballs, a tangy flavor, and a fun surprise. So I've made watermelon pizza before, but never like this. The difference is this one actually has barbecue sauce on top of it. And what goes well with barbecue sauce? Pineapples, of course. Because it's a pizza, we're topping it off with some cheese and then grilling the pizza. The key here is to grill on high and quickly. Just enough for the cheese to melt, but not too much to make the watermelon soggy. When it comes out of the grill after about 5 minutes, just slice it up and again.
Not bad, but I wouldn't make it again.
I posted this recipe 3 months ago and called it shrimp salsa. I was going to call it ceviche, but my research showed that ceviche is made with raw seafood marinated in citrus. Because I didn't do that, I called it salsa based on many similar salsas. Yesterday, it was brought to my attention that this is in fact ceviche. I'm sorry for naming it incorrectly, and to anyone I offended. I promise to do better research. Whenever I have a lot of random fruit left over, I love making a big fruit salad for the family because I believe if you cut it, they will eat it. For this one, I'm using some cherries, strawberries, blueberries, kiwi, mango, and cantaloupe. You really can't go wrong with any fruits here. Then I add my secret ingredient at the end, which is rose water, and give it all a good mix. This fruit salad is so much more fun to eat than all the individual fruits.
So good.
If you have yogurt that's about to expire, add honey to it. Whisk it and then transfer it to a rimmed sheet pan that's lined with parchment paper. Try to smooth it out as much as possible, then add any fruit you'd like. Here I'm using some blueberries, raspberries, and strawberry granola. Freeze until the yogurt is nice and firm, which is going to take about 3 hours. I find it easier to lift it from the pan and transfer it to a cutting board before cutting it up into small bark pieces. Enjoy it right away and store any extras in the freezer.
So cold, but so good.
Did you know you can make popcorn in a paper bag? I measure half a cup of popcorn kernels with 1 teaspoon of oil or melted butter and a pinch of salt. You can keep it plain or try some fun popcorn seasoning for a little something fun. Fold the bag over twice, then place it in the microwave for 2.5 to 3 minutes or until the popping starts to slow down. Shake it up and enjoy it right away. It's so easy and it makes the perfect single serve amount.
So good.
Have you heard of a butter board? It's the latest trend and I'm going to share with you tips for making one. First, you have to soften the butter, not melt it. Cover the butter with a hot bowl and it does the trick in a few minutes. Second, infuse your butter. You can use garlic, herbs, or try some rose water even. Third, use good quality butter. I love Danish Creamery because it's rich, creamy, and makes everything taste better. Now you can just add some fun toppings on your butter. I'm using grapes, strawberries, walnuts, sea salt, mint, and honey. This is meant to serve 12 to 16 people, and it's such a fun way to enjoy butter.
So good.
Here are 4 pinwheel sandwiches to try this week. The first one is made with lettuce and an easy Greek yogurt chicken salad. Roll it up and then slice it up. The second one starts with pesto, followed by turkey, cheese, and spinach, all rolled up and then sliced. Next, we've got a loaded hummus and veggie pinwheel that starts with hummus all over the tortilla, followed by thinly sliced carrots, cucumbers, and peppers. Finally, we've got an everything bagel-inspired pinwheel that starts with cream cheese, followed by everything seasoning, ribbon cucumbers, and thinly sliced tomatoes. Which of these 4 would you try? I think every Lebanese person who saw the viral butter board immediately wanted to make a lebni board. If you've never had lebni, you can make it at home with just 2 ingredients, Stonyfield whole milk yogurt and salt. Stir them together and let them sit in a strainer lined with cheesecloth for 2 to 3 days. Then you can throw out the strained liquid and get this spreadable yogurt cheese that is very popular breakfast in the Middle East. To play off the butter board, I spread the lebne on the board and I topped it off with some tomatoes, cucumbers, olives, za'atar, and a nice drizzle of olive oil. This makes for such a great breakfast or snack any time of the day with some pita bread.
So good.
These are pickle chips, possibly the most delicious new snack ever, and you only need 2 ingredients to make them. Start with some slices of pickles and dry them between 2 paper towels. Next, shred your favorite cheese. I like to use Cabot Seriously Sharp cheddar cheese because they have won some serious tasting awards for their cheese. Make a layer of cheese, a layer of pickles, and another light layer of cheese. Then bake at 400 for 10 minutes. Sprinkle some seasoning if you'd like, and then let them cool, which makes them even more crisp.
So good.
This is 3 cups of garlic cloves, and every 3 months I throw it all into a food processor and puree it for 30 seconds until it looks like a paste. Then I scoop up the paste into small Ziploc bags and seal them up. There's no need to add oil or salt to them. I like to use a dull knife to partition the bags into small squares, with each square equal to about a teaspoon of garlic. And then I freeze this for 3 months to use for soups, stews, stir fries, and any cooked meal. This one-pan pasta takes less than 15 minutes to make. Start with any pasta you like and cover with boiling water and salt. Once it's almost cooked to al dente, add some chopped broccoli, basil, pesto, and a block of Athenos feta cheese chunk. The chunk gives you the best melt factor. Break down the feta cheese with a wooden spoon and stir with the warm pasta until it creates a creamy sauce. Now season it with black pepper and add some lemon zest. If you like broccoli and cheese, you have to try this tangy feta version.
So good.
I froze this breakfast burrito 3 months ago. Let's see if it's still any good. The first thing I do is remove the foil, then wrap it in paper towel and get that paper towel nice and damp with some water. Then I microwave it for 3 minutes. Okay, time to remove the paper towel and cut the burrito in half. When I cut it, I noticed the middle part is still kind of frozen. So the final step is to pop it in my toaster oven for 3 more minutes to warm it all up and get the tortilla crispy.
So good.
This is what happens when you roast garlic in the oven, but there's a specific way to do it for the best flavor. First, make sure to slice a little off the garlic tops. And second, use avocado oil that has a high smoke point so you can crank up the oven to get the best caramelized garlic cloves. Then comes the best part. Gently squeeze out those garlic cloves, add some leftover avocado oil, parsley, and salt. When you mix it all together, it looks like it has butter in it, but this was made with Chosen Foods 100% pure avocado oil that has all that good fats from avocados. So spread it on your favorite bread, toast it up in the oven until the bread is crunchy and the garlic paste is browned.
So good.
If you're looking for an easy, cheesy holiday appetizer, take some mozzarella sticks and cut them into fourths. Then roll out some pizza dough and cut that into 32 pieces. Place the mozzarella cubes on top, season with Italian seasoning, and then roll each one into a dough ball. Now place the dough balls seam side down on a sheet pan in the shape of a Christmas tree. Brush them with egg wash and bake at 400 for about 16 minutes until they're golden on top and the cheese starts to ooze out of them. You can add some fresh parsley and Parmesan cheese when they come out of the oven and then serve them with marinara sauce or any other sauce you want.
So good.
Let me take a bite. Can I take a bite?
Yeah.
Hot.
I got egg in my hair.
Hold on.
Get out Coco for a minute. Cheesy, spicy ramen.
Yum.
Hold on, Adam. Avocado grilled cheese. I'm using a purple carrot.
So good.
So good.
Here, tell me this is good.
So good.